Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Your Excellency, President von der Leyen, honored guests, friends and colleagues, I'm thrilled to welcome you in person to New Delhi. We've been waiting to meet each other again. But even as this moment excites us, it is important to remember those who are missing. We have lost some in the last 2 years, but at the same time, we have also seen acts of courage of selfless human beings who have worked hard to save lives, who have responded to the crises that engulfed us over the past 2 years and continue to do so today. At last year's dialogue, as we all signed on to Raisina on our screens, Prime Minister Modi made a very perceptive and important observation. He noted that global institutions created in the 20th century to prevent wars had failed to anticipate the challenges of the 21st century and were unable to protect us even from basic threats. He suggested a new imperative to build institutions that respond to essential human concerns from famine to hunger to disease. Our continuing inability to respond equally and equitably to the pandemic and what happened thereafter underscores the point the Prime Minister made. We need to refocus, re-engage, and reset our institutions of global governance. Nor have the disorders of the 20th century failed to trouble us in the 21st. Political challenges have marred the past year in the Himalayas and the Hindu Kush, in the Indian Ocean and the Black Sea. Here again, the responses of the institutions created in the past century have been found wanting. We meet today in person, but for many of us, life over the past years moved online. We relied on technology to earn a living, to stay connected with friends and family. And yet, this life-giving online world itself became a new battleground. Infodemics, cyber attacks, online frauds. As our lives became virtual, so did our threats. Our worst fears followed us online. Yet, honored guests, one fighting force has remained undaunted. Communities. Communities responded magnificently. A globalized, individualistic world had to re-anchor itself in communities. When the rest of the world was put beyond our reach, we rediscovered the importance of our families, of our neighbors, of our cities. We remained global, but the essential realities of our localities returned. Today, as we deal with geopolitical headwinds and uncertainty in the supply chains, with the weaponization of financial systems, wars fought with energy, we at Raisina today have a responsibility. This is the first conference that has the opportunity to engage with these issues and many more. The first opportunity to sit together, to look back in order to look forward, to collectively determine a clearer path forward. We are delighted to have speakers and participants from 100 countries in person and many more joining us online. They represent a kaleidoscope of ideas and ideologies, a mosaic of aspirations and ambitions. That is this dialogue's uniqueness and its strength, and you, the community, are its pillar. Honorable Prime Minister, you may recall that when we first discussed this dialogue with you years ago, you said focus on the young, on those who will shape our shared future. This year, our 44 Raisina Young Fellows from approximately 28 countries join the 1,500 alumni from 109 countries that have been through this fellowship program. This year, we also have 2 Bhutanese colleagues joining them, along with the officer trainees from the Foreign Services Institute, who will be a part of these proceedings as well. And soon, we are going to welcome to the Raisina family a Future Diplomats Forum, whose alumni will, through their actions and careers, answer many of the questions we will ask ourselves in the days ahead. There are conversations that are hosted in Delhi, but there are also conversations happening in Washington, D.C., and indeed in Berlin this time around. Hopefully next year, we will also have an in-person gathering in Canberra. The Raisina dialogue will follow the sun in search of solutions to the most pressing questions that unite humanity. Let me welcome you all once again to New Delhi and thank our special dignitaries for agreeing to inaugurate this session today. With that, let me invite Mr. Sanjay Joshi Chairman of the Observer Research Foundation, to introduce the program and indeed our speaker this evening. Mr. Joshi, over to you.